Look at that. That's some good lighting there. That's, I look kind of evil. Did I just open Henry's Grail Diary? Anyway, welcome to WrestleMania Wednesday. I'm Don. Today we're going to talk about WrestleMania 26, a pretty solid WrestleMania. Not the best, nowhere near the worst, but had some great matches and some duds, but they all do.
You're watching So Awkward. This is Freddy Krueger saying hi.
2010 at the University of Phoenix Stadium in Phoenix, Arizona. We start the festivities off with America the Beautiful by Fantasia of American Idol fame, I believe, right? Did she win? Did she not win? I don't remember. Is that still a show? American Idol? Our commentary team was Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and Matt Striker. Possibly making his WrestleMania debut, I don't remember. Matt Striker. I like Matt Striker. I don't think that's necessarily a popular opinion. I'm not saying most people dislike Matt Striker. I'm saying most people don't even think about Matt Striker. I think he's now does commentary for Lucha Underground. And from what little I've seen of Lucha Underground, it's very cool. And I think he probably does a pretty good job. Anyway, I always liked Matt Striker. I never really watched him much as a wrestler, but I always thought he was a pretty good commentator and interviewer. I like the guy. He was like an English teacher or something, so he's like Dennis Miller. He quotes like, in the words of Aristophanes, he just beat him up or something. You know, he always throws in like quotes like that. The problem with the network here. Where's my Xbox? They start things off with the Unified Tag Team Championship match. It's R-Truth and John Morrison versus The Big Show and The Miz. They were the champions, and they won. Not a whole lot to say about this one. It was pretty good. I don't remember either of these two teams being teams. I know John Morrison and R-Truth and The Big Show and The Miz, and I like all four of them. They're all quality wrestlers. I didn't know either of them had teams together or that they were champions. But, yeah, I don't know. This one was fine. These were four solid wrestlers having a solid, fun match. In fact, I even wrote in my notes, solid, fun. We're sorry, but there has been an error. Please try the action again. If the problem persists, please visit. Then we have kind of a gimmicky but fun triple threat match. It's like the three sons, my three sons, the wrestling match. It's Randy Orton, son of Cowboy Bob Orton, Cody Rhodes, son of Dusty Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase, son of Ted DiBiase. Come on, network. I got network problems, so my background's off, and I got this dog growling in the window. This is the most botched episode of WrestleMania Wednesday yet. Except for that time I watched an episode of Glow by accident and reviewed that. And I said that was the worst WrestleMania ever. Randy Orton dominated. I wrote in my notes, Orton looks badass. He did. He just kicked the crap out of the other guys. And the other guys are... Cody Rhodes is great. I don't know that much about Ted DiBiase's son, Ted DiBiase. But he sure looks great. He looks the part. I think he was in the Marine 2 or the Marine 3. He took over after John Cena. And then he was never heard from again. But this was a pretty quality match. I love a good triple threat match, and this was a good triple threat match. It was not a great triple threat match, but it was solid. And Randy Orton really shined. He was the star of the match. He won. He decimated. It was good fun. And that brings us to the Money in the Bank ladder match with a fairly solid cast of characters in this one. Kofi Kingston, MVP, Evan Bourne making, I believe, his WrestleMania debut, Jack Swagger, Shelton Benjamin, who's been in like every Money in the Bank and never won, Matt Hardy, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Kane, and Christian. It's a solid crew. Again, not much to say about this one. Money in the Bank ladder matches are always fun. They're rarely amazing. They have amazing moments, like little spots where they do some crazy stunt, but for the most part, it's just a couple guys in the ring. Then they pretend to get knocked out, and then a couple more guys in the ring, and then they get knocked out, and they feel very forced and set up, but they're also very fun, and they allow for some amazing stunts. Very rarely some great wrestling, but they're usually a spectacle. Jack Swagger won this one. I didn't see that coming. I don't know how that played out. This might be the point where the Money in the Bank ladder match is getting a little stale. I mean, they're good, but if you were to show me a clip from Money in the Bank ladder match from a WrestleMania, I would be hard pressed to tell you which WrestleMania was fun. They all blend together. They're all the same match. Especially when you start having Jack Swagger win. Maybe it's time for a change. Should have Owen Hart win. Sheamus versus Triple H. I believe this is Sheamus' WrestleMania debut. I always crap all over the Triple H matches. By that, I don't really complain about them. I just say they're kind of boring and repetitive and exactly the same. This one is one of his betters. Probably because I really like Sheamus, and Sheamus is a different kind of opponent. But it wouldn't be a WrestleMania without Triple H beating up some young, new talent. And so that's what happens here. It's just Triple H beating up Sheamus. But Sheamus looks pretty good. He gets a lot of good moves in. He gets a lot of licks in. And Sheamus comes away looking pretty strong. Not a whole lot to say about this one either. It's your typical Triple H WrestleMania match. And then we have CM Punk, not in his WrestleMania debut, but in his singles match WrestleMania debut. Up to this point, he was in the previous few Money in the Bank ladder matches, and he finally gets his own match, and it's a really good one against Rey Mysterio. This is two of my all-time favorites. CM Punk is in my top 5 of all time. I love CM Punk. I will be a CM Punk apologist no matter what, no matter how much he gets his ass kicked in the UFC. I love the guy. One of the greatest in-ring performers. One of the greatest promo guys I've ever seen. He's just amazing, and this is a really fun match. And I had forgotten, there's a very young Luke Gallows who is a member of his Straight Edge Society. Anybody else remember that? So that's worth checking out as well. Luke Gallows now, is he a tag team champion? He was a tag team champion at some point. Huge in Japan, then he came to WWE, last year, and he's great, and he's still going, but this was probably his WrestleMania debut. And Rey Mysterio, of course, the great luchador, high flyer. He's awesome. Look at this guy. Rey Mysterio wins, but it's just a fun match, just a great match, a great story they told, great video package leading up to it, explaining the nonsense animosity between the two of them. Yeah, good match. Here's a real stinker. No holds barred match between Bret the Hitman Hart, my all-time favorite, versus Vince McMahon. I'm not going to go into the whole Montreal screw job and the animosity between Vince and Hitman, both real and fictionalized on the program. If you're a wrestling fan, basically, when Hitman left the company, Vince tricked him into dropping the title at Survivor Series to Shawn Michaels, blah, 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 blah. And so there was some real heat between them. They hated each other. And then Hitman went off to WCW for years, and he finally, this was 15 years later or something. And he's finally back at WrestleMania. I think, is this after he had a stroke? Is this after his career was ended by Goldberg? He got kicked in the face by Goldberg, and then a few years later he had a stroke. Anyway, we're not getting Hitman in his prime. We might be getting Vince in his prime. I mean, he was, at this point, he was roided up and, raring to go. But this was just... It was nice seeing Hitman again, but I would rather see him in, somebody's corner, instead of wrestling. It's what he can no longer do. But he did win. It was just him hitting Vince over and over with a chair for 15 minutes. For some reason, this was a long match. And it was really bad. just embarrassing and a shame to see. I'm happy that Hitman got a payday, a WrestleMania payday again. Probably helped pay for some of his medical bills. But less said about this one, the better. Skip it. Now we have Edge versus Jericho for the World Heavyweight Champion. Jericho defending his championship against Edge. I was so excited for this one. I've never seen WrestleMania 26 before, not in its entirety. I've seen some of the matches. I've never seen this one before. But these, I know I say this all the time, these are two of my all-time favorites. But this time I really mean it. So when this match started, at first I was disappointed because it was boring. It was really slow-paced, and the chemistry seemed to be off. But it just kept going, and it was like a slow burn. And it just kept getting more exciting and more exciting. And just the storytelling grew. And it was just, it was a long match. But it was great. It was one of my new favorite matches. Just stick with it. Like the first 5 to 10 minutes is kind of slow. But the last 10 minutes is just awesome. Even the network can't handle it. It's frozen up. Look at that kick. Look at that kick. It's a great kick. There he goes. Jericho wins and retains the title. It was just a really good quality match by two great wrestlers. Underrated match. I never hear people talk about this one. But they should, because this one was awesome. I loved it. And then we have the 10 Diva tag match. I'm not going to name all the divas that were in there. Vicky Guerrero was in there. Vicky Guerrero's team wins. I don't remember who's on it. I don't remember anything about the match. It wasn't very good. I kind of didn't pay attention to this one, though, to be honest. I don't know. I'm not sexist. It's just that wrestling at this period was sexist. And they didn't really let them do anything. Yeah, less said about this one, the better. Skip it. Then we have Batista defending his WWE Championship versus John Cena. Another awesome match. What do you expect from these two? I love both of these two. Batista, I think, is very underrated. People don't like Batista for some reason. People on the internet hate Batista, or they used to, or they always complain about Batista. He can't wrestle. He's always, if you Google top 10 most overrated wrestlers, Batista will be on there. But if you Google top 10 underrated wrestlers, I bet he's on there too, because wrestling fans are crazy. But I think I like both of these guys, and I thought this was a great match. I'm not going to say this was either their best match, but I thought it was quality. It was a lot of fun. I liked Edge Jericho better. It told a better story, and they're just better wrestlers. But I thought this was pretty fun, and I enjoy watching both of these two just beat people up. And they both were able to demonstrate their powerhouse abilities. They're both incredibly strong and ridiculously cut. It's like watching like a Japanese monster movie, these two. I liked it a lot. Cena won. And then we have the rematch between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. And boy, is it a doggone good match. Because I got a dog. Anyway, yeah, they both fought at WrestleMania 25, and it was arguably the greatest match in WrestleMania history. This one's better. This one's better. I've seen both of them 1,000 times over the years. I always liked the first one better, WrestleMania 25. I just thought it was more exciting, more fresh. But watching them pretty much back to back, WrestleMania 25 and 26, 26 just was more entertaining. It's a better match. It's a stronger match. The story is better because it's a retirement match. It's the streak, Undertaker's streak, versus the career, Shawn Michaels' career. So there's that added drama. But the career comes to an end. This is Shawn Michaels' last ever wrestling match. He never came back from retirement. He didn't go to another promotion and wrestle. He just faded off into the sunset. I mean, he came back a few times as probably like a referee, and maybe, he did some stuff, some appearances, gave some sweet chin music here and there. He had some hunting show. Now he's got some new Jesus movie out. But yeah, this match, two of the all-time greats having arguably their greatest match. This one was just awesome. If you liked WrestleMania, if you liked their match at WrestleMania 25, I swear this one's even more exciting. They just, they finally settled the score. And it's Undertaker all the way. Yeah, so that's WrestleMania 26? So a handful of great matches, a couple that you're going to want to skip, and but for the most part, it's worth watching for Edge and Jericho, and these two, Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker. Anyway, say goodbye to the people, Koopy. Goodbye to the people, Koopy. Come on, WWE. Experiencing technical difficulties here on WrestleMania Wednesday. Just for the stupid thing that's in my background. I'm not complaining about the network. It usually works flawlessly.